So we know that the round of 16 of Afcon has already kicked off, but because it's been a while since my last video, I just want to go back to the time where I predicted my last 16. These are the actual teams that qualified for the round of 16. These are the teams that I predicted will qualify, and that's 12 out of 16. That's about 75%. That's not too bad, I think. Yeah, so the fixtures have already been set, and 2 or 4 of them actually have already been played, and we'll start back with the Angola versus Namibia game and Nigeria versus Cameroon. That's where we'll start. Angola beat Namibia 3-0, Nigeria beat Cameroon 2-0, but for the Angola game, I think it was absolute drama. Gelson Dala scored 2 goals, and I think that's 4 for the tournament for him now, with a very beautiful celebration there, and Mabululu scored a beautiful finesse shot to wrap it up at the end. But I think he gave us one of the celebrations of the tournament so far to go with his beautiful finesse shot goal.
Décisive pour Gelson Dala. La finition pour le Lion.
This is the same man that brought back the iconic, legendary Bafetimbi Gomez celebration during the games in the group stage. So he's very adept at these things. But I think Namibia just gave away the game. They completely gave away their advantage. So the Angolan goalkeeper was sent off for obviously handball outside the box. Intentional handball, that is. And Namibia were a man to the good, but somehow they find themselves behind, and then in 2 minutes they get a red card themselves, absolutely careless by the defender who's already on a yellow card. When the player goes through like that and you're already on a yellow card, don't touch him, don't risk that. He's not going anywhere. He wasn't directly going towards goal, he was actually more towards the side. But besides that, Angola scored immediately from the resulting free kick, from the direct free kick. That means Angola were 2 goals to the good. Namibia from being 0-0 with the man up to absolutely 2 down with 10 men each. So yeah, they lost it, but they can be proud of themselves for their efforts this tournament. Essentially, not a lot of goals there. Not a lot of goals scored. Only scored 1 goal throughout the tournament, which was in the first game. Poor, not good enough, but it was a start. First Afcon win, first time reaching the knockout stages, and also scored their first goal. So I think they can be proud of their efforts, but the day goes to Angola. Angola will play Nigeria in the quarterfinals, and Nigeria qualified after beating Cameroon 2-0. But I specifically want to shout out Victor Osimhen and a note of his contributions in that game. Although Adama Lookman scored 2 goals, I think we need to talk about the setup for the first goal by Victor Osimhen. I think it's absolute quality. The fact that he's able to press, win the ball, keep composure, remain level-headed, and not be selfish. That's completely unselfish play for a striker, and we all know that strikers have that knack and that instinct and that mindset to just want to score. So to do that, that's something that's not necessarily in his nature. He was so close to goal. He had just won the ball and he could see the keeper, but to recognize that his fellow teammate was in a better place was an absolutely beautiful decision, because they scored from it. And he could have missed, then we were going to say, why did he miss? But he also could have scored. But the ability and the know-how to know that my player is in a better position and has a better chance to score, I think that's a very, very respectable thing to do. Yeah, Victor Osimhen, for me, he's so good. He runs the channel. Was a problem for Cameroon the whole game. He can bring it to the side. He can stop it. He's physical. He's strong enough. He's got everything that a striker needs, and even got recognition from Didier Drogba, one of the legends of African football and Chelsea Football Club, one of the best strikers to have ever existed. And I also want to touch on quickly on why the first goal specifically, was disallowed. The reason for that is the offside rule. So we know with offsides that you need to be either behind the ball or level with the last man. That's the attacking team, of course. But in this case, I would like to think of it as look at the defender and replace that with the keeper. So whenever the keeper is ahead of his own players, then the last man becomes really the last man actually on the field, and that's this player. He's behind everyone. So to make it easy for me, I just think about it as swap the keeper and the player and the last defender. So you see now the keeper sort of counts as the last defender. So he's obviously like the last 9. So both Nigerian players are offside. That's how I'd like to think of it. In all cases like that, it will always be true. And yeah, the day also went to Nigeria. And if you remember, I have Nigeria. I predicted that this would be my champion. So for me, they win the whole thing. Still going strong on that prediction, and they're looking good for me.